Hey guys, I've got a special guest for you today, James Roguski. I hope I said that right. He is sounding the alarm on who the who is and what the hell they're up to. Thanks for coming on, buddy.
Thanks so much for having me, Chris. I appreciate it.
Can you tell us a little bit about yourself? And we're going to get straight into it. I want to give these guys the meat.
It's not about me, and we didn't get a chance to talk about this. For anybody who wants to know who I am, as of late until this came up, I was making my living rescuing abandoned furniture, fixing up and reselling it after I did all the repair work on it. So, I'm a smart guy, but I'm a working man. And I came across something when I'm doing my research on the internet. I found a document. I didn't hack anything. I found a document that I wasn't supposed to find. It was supposed to be hidden. And what's in the document is that the United States delegate to the World Health Assembly, which is a meeting of 194 nations around the world. Everybody gets 3 delegates. They send them to Geneva, and each country gets 1 vote, and they determine your history, your future in terms of health regulations. And the United States got together with 40 other nations, nice and quietly, late last year and early this year. And in January, they presented this pile of amendments to something that nobody's ever heard of, the International Health Regulations. Now, that's a treaty from 1969. So this isn't going to go through the Senate for approval with 2/3 votes. This is going to it was meant to just quietly be underground, no reporting on it. It was going to pop up the last week in May, the assemblies from May 22nd to 28th. They'd probably, slam the gavel, everybody who agrees, say aye, okay, pass with flying colors, goes back underground. And 6 months later, y'all have world government. And I got lucky. I found the needle in the haystack. You're all, called me up this morning. I think you heard about it this morning. You called me up this morning, and here we are to spread the word. I'm just here to sound the alarm about something that I found that they were trying to sneak through. And if everybody learns about it and makes this go viral and shares it with everybody else, we all, I see what you're doing at the WHO, and I'm not having it. And I think all your viewers are probably going to be of the same opinion. How can you represent me when, you're keeping this a secret? And I don't even, it's impossible around the world to find who the delegates are who are going to represent people from every country at the WHO. It's all a big secret. They're trying to slide this in underneath the radar and legislate in change to international law. And thank you for giving me the opportunity to sound the alarm.
Absolutely, brother. That's what my channel's about, is just to keep the like-minded, the fringe, the people that are going to live outside of the reset, that aren't going to put up with that crap. Because there's so much information out there. We live in the age of information, and people like you that find a little nugget that says, hey, this is something, look.
Let me dive a little deeper and give the specifics, okay? And the place where I put all of this information, anybody can get there very easily. Just remember that thing in the background that you have flashing. Don't you dare .info. You don't type out DOT. Yeah, you don't type out DOT. That's just so you know you got to put a dot there. There you go. Don't you
like
dare
that?
.info. That's beautiful.
Yeah. Let me talk just for a second because it'll show up on their screen. Take a screenshot of that and go check it out. Do your own research. Don't take anybody's word for it.
And so I didn't hack anything. I'm not an insider. I'm not blowing the whistle. I just found a document that is on the World Health Organization's website. The link is on my site. You take you straight there. And I read it and I understood it. That's the hard part because it's all in legalese jargon.
Oh, yeah.
And in the middle of it, there's literally a line that is crossed out. And it looks like a needle in a haystack. There's a haystack full of crazy legal terms and a line through where they're making the change where that line is going to be removed. They're not adding that word, they're taking it out. And what that line says, and a whole bunch of other lines that are related to it, currently, under the current regulations, the current international health regulations actually protect our sovereignty. If the WHO wanted to come into the United States or any other country and say, look, somebody's sick in, where you, Louisiana, right? Somebody's coughing in Louisiana, and the WHO says, oh, you want to call a public emergency of international concern. They can't. Currently, they can't. They would have to get the US government and probably the Louisiana government to agree that, yeah, we got a problem and it might spread, and we agree with you, we should tell everybody, okay? I mean, that's fair. It's like you get the country to say, yes, we have a problem, please alert the world. They want to take that out and make it so that they don't have to listen to the sovereign country, and the WHO can just have full-time, all day long, every day, all year long, all decade long, public health emergencies of international concern. But if you spell that out, PHEIC, it's a fake. Now, they also, we didn't get a chance to talk about this, Chris, and I swear to God, this is true. They also want to add a public health emergency of regional concern. And you figured it out, okay? It didn't take you long. It took you about a nanosecond. They want to FERC the world by giving their region. I'm not kidding. Go to the website.
All these acronyms are really funny.
Okay, these people, maybe there's some kind of metaphysical obligation that they have to tell you what they're going to do before they do it, right? And they have regions around the world that is simply for how their bureaucracy is structured. You got the Americas, Africa, and there's a map on the website. Asia, Europe, the Middle East, and that's just how they organize their bureaucracy. And if you look at the map and you ask yourself, well, if there was a pathogen here, where would it spread? Well, yeah, maybe it's a little bit regional, but anybody can get on an airplane if you go all over the place. The regions don't make any sense at all. It's just a power grab. They want to be able to have emergencies all day, all the time.
So look, all they need is a narrative. They need a good narrative. There's one coming out about hepatitis in children. It's nutty. It really is pretty strange. We don't know where it's coming from. I don't want to speculate on it, but that's all they need. If this was to take place for another country, say, hey, y'all have got a problem, and they can shut us down, do anything they want to, right?
Well,
the WHO, anyway.
No, they're fronting as if they can. And that's not the only digging that I did. I also dug all the way back to 1948. Now, I've heard a lot of bad things recently about Harry S. Truman. I wasn't around in 1948, so I can't say, but his name his signature is on the joint resolution that Congress passed, and he signed it on, I think it was June 14th, 1948. That's the document that got us into the World Health Organization. And back then, before TV was big, think back to 1948, I don't think too many people had televisions. So people weren't programmed because there wasn't any programming going out to everybody's living room. And the last paragraph in the joint resolution that got us into the WHO, I'll paraphrase it. It essentially said, well, we want to join this worldwide organization and be involved in the health of, everybody. But we're going to reserve the right that regardless of what the WHO says, we don't have to change any of our laws if we don't want to. So go pound sand. We're here to help. We're here to work with you, but you can't. You're not the boss of us. We're sovereign. Take it or leave it, right? And people have forgotten what it means to be sovereign. They've forgotten what it means to have inalienable rights. Nobody can take away something that's inalienable. Just look at the damn word, right? But you can be tricked into giving it up, and a country can be tricked into handing over their sovereignty, and that's what's going on. Our delegation submitted an amendment that is giving over our sovereignty, and if they do it in darkness, hiding it and nobody knows about it,
Do you think they've been tricked, or do you think they're sociopaths working for this?
Well, there's both for sure. Most of it is the lack of awareness, which you're addressing right now. Thank you very much. Just spreading the word. Honestly, many people will look at the document and their eyes will glaze over and they'll be like, this is too, I don't understand this crap. So on the website, I have two big red arrows, one pointing down and one pointing up. And if you find yourself between the two big red arrows on my page, don'tyoudare.info, you're in the right spot, okay? And if you look at what they're crossing out in the legalese document is the current rule that says the WHO has to get the country's permission. They have to get their agreement. And if you take those words out, it means that I don't refer to Tedros as anything other than the dictator general of the World Hypnosis Organization, because they just are casting this spell on everybody. And if you're too big, I know how it is, man. You got to pay the bills. You got to go to work. You're tired. You got to take care of the kids and, mow the lawn and whatever the hell else you got to do. Who the hell has time to sift through millions of, words that hide the important words?
Well, hopefully they're listening to us on the way to work. That's my plan, is to give people zero hedges and things that are very important, and you can listen while you drive and multitask. That's what I do at work and drive. So hopefully y'all are getting this.
And don't write this down while you're driving, but here's where everybody thinks I'm actually, absolutely out of my mind, but I'm having a blast. My phone number on my cell phone is 310-619-3055. My name's James Roguski. And Chris, I'm going to guess that the reason we got together is because you saw something, had my phone number on it. You called me and you texted me and I called you back. And that's how the word spreads, like, super, super fast. Call everybody right now. Text them. Hey, check out don'tyoudare.info. That's all it takes. I've made it easy.
Because we got what, 3 weeks?
A little bit, not just shy of 4 weeks.
What do you do? I mean, don't tell me to write my senator either, or my congressman. That doesn't do nothing. That's like a midget pissing on a forest fire.
Step number one is what you're doing. Okay. And I'm going to imagine, maybe some other people who do something similar to what you're doing with, having a channel and getting the word out. The mathematics of this, if you've ever heard the 6 degrees of separation, everybody knows Kevin Bacon. If you go 6 levels removed, okay, somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody. I'm going to guess your channel is going to reach 100 people. I'm guessing more.
This video will be it'll be a lot.
Yeah, if it's, in all seriousness, this is just dumb math, right? Just add up the zeros. If you tell 100 people and they tell 100 people, and all that is take this video and share it. And then those people share it, and then those people share it, and those people share it. If 100 people tell 100 people through 5 levels of sharing, that's 10 billion. You could reach the world if 100 of your viewers tell 100 people 5 times. Just do the math. Okay. Now, that's not going to happen because we don't have 10 billion people, but we can tell a lot of people really quickly. And if everybody is standing up and saying, look, we caught you trying to do this secretly, and we all know that you're trying to do it, and we're not having it, they'll back down. I don't think we talked about this, but if I say 3 letters to you, tell me what they mean to you. TPP, Tom, Peter, Paul, TPP.
I don't know. I should know because I heard you say it earlier, but I can't remember.
5 or 6 years ago, the Obama administration was trying to push through the Trans-Pacific Partnership. Okay. And that was a trade agreement like NAFTA that was essentially going to give away, more jobs. And they would not allow that treaty to see the light of day. Senators and congresspeople, they had to go into a secure room. They couldn't take photographs of it. They couldn't print it out. They had to read it and remember it. And maybe somebody leaked it. I don't know exactly, how the information got out, but regular people heard that there was something going on in secret. And they said, look, you can't do it in secret. That's, they passed the Federal Reserve Act on Christmas Eve, and all these bills that get passed, instantaneously. We got to pass the bill in order to read it. We stopped the Trans-Pacific Partnership 5 or 6 years ago, but we forgot to put the wooden stake through the heart and shoot it with a couple of silver bullets to make sure it stayed dead. And it morphed underground, it came back up, and now it's the amendments to the international health regulations. And we've got to kill it for good this time. And I think we can. It just requires people to understand what it is, realize that I don't know. I've spoken to lawyers, and they're trying to figure out, is this treason? Is it sedition? Or is it just administrative malfeasance? I don't care, which end of the spectrum you want to look at. When you see someone trying to sell your country's, I take that back. When you see someone trying to give away your country's sovereignty, and thus your sovereignty over your own health, you probably ought to say something. And that's all I'm doing.
To who?
Everybody.
I'm serious. I want a solution. I want to talk about solutions.
Did you hear the Abbott Costello routine that we could get into? You said to who? Okay.
But look, I'm serious. I really like to provide solutions at the end of these videos because it's easy to talk about all the bad crap. Right. So what do we do? I know telling each other is going to do little. You know what I'm saying? There's something we got to do, and if our senators and congressmen already know what doesn't work, and they do it anyway.
I'll give you an analogy. Okay, number one, up in Canada a couple of months ago, you didn't have one trucker drive across country and park it in front of the Parliament, and then drive away, and then have another one park in front of the Parliament and drive away. You had everybody all together at once, screaming and yelling at Parliament. Now, step number one, of course, you're absolutely right. Somebody sends an email to their senator or their congressperson, nothing's going to happen, right? 10 million people send an email to the congressman. And you got to realize we've got some fake elections coming up, but the people who are running in those fake elections still like to try to win them. We know the game with that, but they still get their money. They still do their campaigning. I think this is the perfect way to gauge whether or not any of your elected officials or anyone who's running for office wants to be elected. We need those people to raise a stink. All of the media needs to raise a stink. I honestly and truly believe that on Memorial Day, on the 30th, where this is all over, I don't know if I'm going to come to Louisiana, but we'll get on Skype and we'll crack the beer together and celebrate that we won, that we shut this down, because I really believe we can. It's just so damn obvious. And it's not a conspiracy theory. It's documented fact that's on the World Health Organization's website. Step number one is to get informed. Go to don'tyoudare.info. Step number two is to let that little light bulb go off in your head. I've seen the light bulb go off in your head a couple of times. You're like, this is bullshit, right? And there's a multitude of legal steps that can be taken, but none of those things are going to happen unless millions of people know about this and demand that it happens. So all of those details are on my articles, and my phone number is 310-619-3055. Go to don'tyoudare.info. But
here's the take another screenshot if you missed it before. And if you want to stop the New World Order, this is part of it. I don't like writing my congressman because they know what they're doing is not going to work. So we're going to write them 3 times today. Write your congressman, your senator, anybody that needs to know, send them an email 3 times in one day. If everybody did that, it might wake them up, because this has got to be addressed. And that seems to be the only thing we can do besides tell each other and share the video. Is that about it?
Share the video, tell the next person to share the video, tell the next person to share the video. Chris, you're not prepared to answer this question. We'll talk about it later. I'm curious what your biggest video all time is. And, I think that this is something that is explosive because it's simple. We can get into the ugly, gory details, but it's on one level really very simple. There is a group of people that is the delegation of the United States that's going to Geneva in the end of May to speak for us. But we don't know who they are. We can't find out who they are. And they sure as hell haven't listened to us.
What do you mean we don't know who they are and we can't find out who they are? So we've got representatives at the WHO that's representing me and you, and we don't even know who they are?
If anybody in your listening audience can do a search on the Health and Human Services Department website or the State Department website or the Geneva Mission website, it's a big fat freaking secret. I've sent out emails to the people who went the last time. Okay. I have the list of the people who went at the special session in November, right? You can go onto government websites and you can get your public servants office emails. Okay. And I've emailed all the people at the HHS. I've emailed people in the State Department. I've emailed people in Geneva. Silence. Okay. And the only question I'm asking is who's going next time? Right. I got one person, bless her soul. She replied, right? She's probably not properly trained in protocols to keep things secret. Right. And she said, I don't know. Right. And she said, I don't know if they even picked them yet. Well, if you've ever made travel plans to Geneva, not that I have, but if you've made travel plans to Geneva, you probably got them already if you got to be there by the 22nd. You don't wait till the last minute. And so they know who's going to the WHO, but they won't tell us who's going to the WHO. And there's an Abbott and Costello routine in here. You can have fun with it. Very simply stated, what in the hell are they hiding? And why won't they tell us who's going? And once they tell us who's going, okay, now you talk to your congressperson and you go, this person needs to get in front of a committee and they need to be interrogated as to who crafted this language, who wrote, and I'm doing the Abbott and Costello routine again, see if you can catch on. Who crafted the language in the amendment? Who started this process? Who told, and we have one name, who told Lois Pace, our delegate last time, to submit this to the WHO? Who is behind all this? Those are not questions, those are statements. It's the WHO is trying to get the United States to front for them to give our sovereignty over to the WHO. And don't take my word for it. I'm just reading the document. You read it for yourself. You make up your own mind. You do what you want to do. I know what I'm doing.
Right on, man. Well, we'll be talking again for sure, maybe a day or two. If you come up with some more information, we'll spread the word and get it out. Y'all got all the information. I'll put a link in the description below to don'tyoudare.info, and we'll do this again. Thanks again.
I would like to say one more thing before you push the button. Okay. Websites disappear. I've had my websites disappear because I've been over the target. And so if you have the capability, the desire, copy anything. I own nothing. Copy the videos, repost them on your channels, take the text, I've had people, one of the videos I did, it went out into the universe, and 6 hours later, I get a call from Ecuador. And a couple hours after that, I get a copy of the video translated into Spanish. Okay. There's things people are doing, and I'm not asking. They're just taking it upon themselves. They go, this is important. And it's not just the United States. I mean, we're the ones causing this problem, right? And that's just insane. But it affects all 194 nations. And so please copy whatever you see, repost it, put it on social media, put it on your blog, put it on your website, take the videos, copy them, put them on your channels, spread it far and wide. You have my blessing to take everything you want and run with it.
Right. This is about getting the word out.
Yep.
Thanks for coming on, man. I will visit with you probably next week.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys, for watching.